Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Factorio Recursion. This is episode number 31, and we are in the latter stages, the final chapters of our Factorio Recursion adventure. We've got a few major hurdles left to solve, and then we'll be launching rockets, and very soon after that, we'll be putting a close to the series. I say this relatively speaking. We're in episode 31. I would say within before episode 40, we'll probably be done. And we'll move on to a new Factorio adventure with some other kind of concept, a new series. We'll still be playing Factorio, but we'll probably be done with this adventure. Spent a lot of time here already. Let's launch a rocket and let's start some research. I think we'll do Worker Robot Speed 8. This is taking 4,000 of each of these science packs now. It's getting quite expensive. It is scaling exponentially. I guess pretty soon, yeah. Maybe after we do one or two more of the Worker Robot Speeds, we will start working hardcore on the mining productivity, and that will increase in the amount of stuff it requires as well. That's rocket number 5. The amount of rockets we've launched is going to increase by a lot pretty soon after we update a few things. Oh my god, it's so loud. Required comment. It's very loud. That is a loud rocket. Okay, so just as a means of giving a little bit of an update, let's go over the stuff we have left to do very briefly. We've got, I will say, 4 major hurdles, 4 big problems left to solve, things to update. We've got a couple minor things, and we got some fun stuff. The fun stuff is going to be remaking this island, giving it a cosmetic upgrade, similar to what we did with the bridge, with the colored concrete and the walls, and the circuit conditions with the colored lights. We're going to be doing that basically for the whole island, more or less. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do. We're just going to have fun. Something to break up all of the math and the spreadsheets and that kind of stuff that makes my brain fry and steam come out of my ears. And we might do something where we take these gates, and these gates not only respond to players, they also respond to trains. So we could put a row of those on the train track, so as the train comes down, it could create this kind of rainbow thing as well. That would be kind of cool to see the trains come in and the rainbow flashing of lights go down the line. So we'll be doing that in a future episode. We'll start peppering that kind of thing in. And we've got a few minor things to do, like we need to update this little section here. Needs a little bit of an optimization. And then the area where we're making all of our rocket guts, right in here. This needs some more assembly machines. I did my calculations wrong. So we'll need to recursion some of this stuff. Not a huge deal, but something that needs to be done eventually. So that's the fun stuff and the minor stuff. The big stuff is we need to completely update our oil, our red circuits, and our blue circuits. Yeah, all of this needs to be replaced with modernized, updated beacon layouts that have a lot more throughput. And the last thing to do is we will need to make a new nuclear power facility that will be able to power everything we're going to be doing. Oh, another minor thing is we will need to add a whole lot of more mining facilities. We're going to have to take over this ore patch, that ore patch, this ore patch, this ore patch, this ore patch. I can't say ore patch 10 times in a row. We'll have to expand outwards more to get more ore patches. Yeah, and that's kind of a minor thing because it's a time sink, but it's not complex. It's not going to fry my brain, just going to fry my, I don't know, my nuclear power supply. We'll have to take over. Eventually this will run out, the more nuclear missiles I use. We still have a lot of this uranium ore left. We'll have to remake a new layout. And recursion, our nuclear power, our upgraded nuclear power system will need to be recursioned into our base if I can figure out how to do it. So that's kind of all of the stuff we need to do. Today we're going to work on our oil, and I've been doing a lot of calculations on that. I've mentioned several times that I made a big Google Doc spreadsheet for this series for figuring out how much stuff we need, and people have asked to see that, and it's not going to happen. I'm not going to be releasing it to the public because it's not very good. I mean, it's functional. It's not very functional even. It gives me what I initially thought, but I've never made a spreadsheet that big and complicated before. And so it's not laid out in the best manner. And for one thing, what it does, the main thing it does is it gives us the raw values. Like I figured out how much iron ore I need, how much copper ore, how much raw crude oil I need. But it's not very good at telling me like how many assembly machines of like red circuit production do I need. It doesn't tell me that. And so I've had to go back and do a whole lot of extra calculations every time I make something. And I've never made a spreadsheet that big and complicated before. At least not that complicated. And so if I make another one at some point, I would definitely make it in a... I would know how to make it in a better fashion because I've learned from the experience. I've learned a lot from the experience. So it was worthwhile, but I'm not showing it to anybody because it's just going to confuse people. And it's probably got some inaccuracies the way I laid it out. Yeah. So you're not going to see it. So that's it. But I've been doing a lot of extra math. And the amount of oil we need... Here was my original layout. So we're going to be using one of these big factory building Mk3s. And we're going to be spreading out our oil refineries because they are 5x5 buildings. And so they actually can get hit by more beacons than the normal assembly machines or chemical plants. But this is not enough total oil. After I did all the calculations and figured out how much leftover heavy oil do I need, and can I crack it, and then I have this much light oil, and how much leftover do I have of that? And I can crack it into petroleum, and it's not enough. This is not enough, so this layout's not going to work. We actually have to smash all of these guys together, and we're going to be using 11 refineries. Problem with this is it makes the calculations way more complicated because they're getting hit by the beacons differently, so all their speeds are different, so I had to do 3 different sets of calculations for the amount of oil we were using and the amount of heavy oil, light oil, and petroleum gas we were outputting. All right, so the next part of the layout, we've got several more things to do, and some of this is probably going to get a recursion. It depends on how much space it takes up. If we need to, we will. But the first thing to really think about is how they're laid out, in what order. So we've got 3 outputs from the refineries. It's pretty typical to chain them like this, to put the heavy oil on one pipe and then the light oil and then the petroleum gas. But in what order and what side? So first thing we should do is look at which sides, which things are going to be needed. So the lubricant is only needed over here for the science. That is needed for the electric engine units for the production science packs. And we also need it way up. Okay, I can't walk through there anymore. I always forget that. We also need it up here for our quality of life area, which will make our belts. The express belts, those require lubricant. And so we're going to pass through the lubricant through our science area. We're already doing this. Pass it through the science area and then chain it up into the quality of life area. But it only needs to come out of the right side of our oil spot. Oh my gosh, I'm getting confused here. There's so many doors into different dimensions. Okay, so this is where we're making our oil. So we only need this thing heading out to the right. We're going to put that on the right side. And that's made from the heavy oil. And so maybe just from that alone, it makes sense to put the heavy oil on the right. And a little bit more development. We've got the water coming up through here. The water needs high throughput so that we can feed all these different things that need the water. We have our heavy oil here. Going to use the underground pipes. The heavy oil, you really don't get too much from advanced oil processing. And in fact, these pipes can handle the output. As long as we use it up, it will handle the output of all 3 different output types. Heavy oil is going to go right here, and we need to use the minimum amount of space. So this is going to be the lubricant. And we can use a pipe, and we can use any one of these 4 outputs here. And we're going to move that into this building and then move it over to the science and then up to the quality of life. So I have some flexibility there. Whichever one of these 4 outputs works the best, we can use. And we will use, I guess, pumps. We have 5 different... Well, it doesn't really matter. We just use... Yeah, that's fine. Okay, that's all we need there. And eventually I'll just leave this here. We might move it, but... Yeah, leave it like that. And we need 6... We need 6 speed modules, and we will need some productivity modules. There's the productivity modules. And since we only need 6 speed modules, we can actually just pack them in as tight as possible. We don't need that much lubricant. And so that will handle our needs. This guy's going to handle the heavy oil. And then we need the heavy oil being cracked into light oil. And these guys are a little funny because we want to perfectly split our heavy oil into being turned into lubricant and being cracked into light oil. You could do this with like a complicated circuit setup, But I'm going to do it by just giving them the necessary amount of speed modules, which is a little bit more of a passive way of doing things, but I think is in the long term better than doing a complicated circuit network kind of thing. So each of these guys, and I can get rid of this. This is my notation from previously. We've moved that to the actual layout. Moved them into the corner. Whoops. That's not even remotely close to what we need. Each of these guys needs, and these are the only ones where we need a very specific number. They each need 11 speed modules. So each of them are now getting, let's see, if we do it like this, they're now each getting 12. So I can take one, and now they're each getting 11. Okay, that's probably the best way we can do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to him. And those guys are outputting light oil tanks being stored. Just these two little dudes. This guy is water. It's confusing, I know. Don't worry. It'll make sense once we do the next step and connect it all up. And actually, I could just run this a full line. I like to put these little underground pipes because it lets me run through things instead of making this unbreakable line of pipes. So we'll do this and no, like that. Okay, so those are all going to them. And then the underground pipes for the light oil will be over here. Those connect to those guys. I might substitute some underground pipes there. Can't quite reach that, so we use the robots. Use the shift clicking. There we go. Oops, that's wrong. Okay, so another little bit of a time skip when I'm working on the layout, and we come to the first real time crunch, trying to lay out the solid fuel guys, making solid fuel from light oil. And you can see we're not going to have enough space, and so we must recursion stuff. So we're going to put down one of these mark. Oh, does that have a label? Oh, this is an old one I have repurposed. Okay, let's pick up the label. We're going to be making solid fuel here. I don't have any on me because we're not making any. Oh, I guess I could go get some, but we're going to put a label there. We're going to recursion all of this light oil stuff. In fact, we're probably going to change, or at least add to that label, not just solid fuel, but also rocket fuel. Because all of our solid fuel, the only thing we're making it for is to turn it into rocket fuel, and we can probably fit all that in here. We need, I think, 16 of these guys, and then how many rocket fuels? Only like 21. Okay, maybe it won't fit in there, but we can recursion more stuff. We can recursion the recursion. And that means that then in this area where all of our rocket stuff is being made, this entire section dedicated to the rocket fuel is not necessary, which means we have more room to add this stuff. Okay, so finally, after hours and hours of mathematical computations and wrestling with layouts and different other considerations, here is, I think, going to be the finalized layout for the oil processing for Factorio Recursion. Looks pretty nice, looks fairly clean. No idea, well, I have a fairly good idea it's going to work, but I'm not sure. I'm not for certain, so let's pick the whole thing up. And let's plop it down in situation and see if everything connects properly, if all the proper liquids and fluids and gases are going down the proper pipes, and if we've got the proper inputs from the belts and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so basically we're going to be replacing this thing. Goodbye. See you later, sucker. We're going to pick up some of these belts. We're going to pick up, in fact, all these tanks. Goodbye. All of this stuff, we are replacing our... hang on. Inventory might be full very soon. So let's put down a few of these little buffer chests just in case I need to plop some stuff down. Probably will. And I'm probably disconnecting some stuff. I don't care. We're redoing all this stuff. In fact, we're going to head right into next episode, we're going to head into the red circuit stuff. So we may as well pick up all this nonsense. I knew this would fill me up, Buttercup. Okay, plop that stuff in there. Pick it up. Everything must go. And you? Yeah. How we doing? Okay, pick that up, pick that up, pick that up. Pick everything up. Yeah, we're gonna redo everything, aren't we? So let's pick up all these belts. Screw these belts are messy. We need to redo them. We will redo them. Oh my goodness. Okay, hopefully... Yeah, okay, I put down 2. We should be fine. Yeah, we're fine. Okay, all of that. So, our layout is like this. Going to be centered in here, recursioned inside of this guy. And we will be bringing in oil on the left and water on the right. We need to do a... First thing we need to do is update our layout. So 2, 2, 3. So I'm going to put an input pipe, 2 and 3. And then this side we've got 2 and 4. So I just need to quickly adapt our system so that we input into that. Okay, that looks good. Let's get the whole thing though. Although it only changed like one little pipe. Get that, cancel it, delete what we had, and move it. Really, getting familiar with the blueprint system is one of the best way to quickly move, update your designs, adapt them, redesign them. So we've got a output pipe here. We'll need a second one. And then here we will need a second input pipe. We're going to put this like this. These will be inputs. Is that an input? Yep. Okay, and then we need this going like that going like that. Everything looks good. Did I already increase these guys? Yeah, their speed is already updated. Okay, so we can now do this. Pick that back up. Move it around. Like that. Oh, shoot, we're in business. Bam, look at it go. Okay, so we're not totally there yet because we still need to input iron and coal. But at least we're doing some stuff. And if these 3 long-handed inserters aren't enough to output this, I can always add 3 more. And if that doesn't work, we can try something else. I've got, in fact, we could move to a stack inserter and then a belt and swap it around and stack inserter kind of thing. Okay, but we need to get to, we need to add coal on the right. That needs to be on the top right here. Like that. Okay, so we're going to do this kind of thing. Line it up. And then we're going to use underground belts as much as possible. Can I do it, in fact, like this? No. Okay, whatever. That is just fine. So now that should be the coal going through there. And that should set our plastic into operation. We've got a little bit more than one belt. So we're balancing them here. Let me run up here if I can maneuver in between all these pipes. That quickly filled up because there's nothing on the other side of there. We are filling up a little bit more than full belt, so I split them left to right, and then I balanced them onto the different sides of the lane, and then we balance them belt to belt for the 2 different belts, and we'll send one off to make rocket stuff, the low-density structures, and the other one will be sent off to make red circuits. The other thing we need coming in right here, which is on the 4th, 1, 2, 3, yeah, the 4th on the top left. That needs to be iron. Whoops, okay, running in, running out, right here. Bam, like that. This guy right here. And you know what, for now, I'm gonna be fiddling with this little, like, collected main bus going through here. So for now, let's just do that kind of thing so that it has the minimal amount of impact on our space. And we can do that. There we go. Okay, so didn't interrupt or get in the way of this plastic. And in fact, we can resume the plastic already. There's the iron coming in. This thing is filling up. And then we need to output that on the 3rd of the top left. So I'll put a little pipe down there so I can know that that goes there. Okay, what else do we need to output? We need the plastic in the top 2. Wrong way. Okay, so one of those needs to go off in this direction. One of those needs to go up towards the red circuits. Look how much cleaner this area looks now that we picked everything up. We scooped it into and recursion into another factory, and we, in fact, updated the layout, made it look much nicer. And this belt here, I will eventually update that as well. In fact, next episode, we'll be doing that, probably. Okay, so that goes off in that direction. And then where were the plastic going? They were, just for now, so I can keep doing research while I tinker with other things. We want the plastic going there. I think, right? That's the one I wanted for the plastic, right? Yes. Okay, lovely. Okay, running back out. We have iron and coal going in. We've got sulfuric going out. We need to run the lubricant out, wherever that is. That is number 4 on the right side. Right there. And I already had a line for that going like this. So, in fact, I will line it up. In fact, let's just use underground pipes. And as we continue to work on this, you can always reconfigure that. But may as well look nice. Make it look nice right now. Make sure that is nice and fast. And since this is a new factory, we need to run around and make sure these things are pointed the right way and are at the proper speed. Yes, you're going the right way. The belts don't need to update. Those updates, boop. Yeah, it just says boop because it's as fast as it can be. The belt stuff is fine. This stuff needs to only be going out. And that needs to be as fast as possible. That's less than one normal pipe is enough for this, for what we're making. Okay, all that's been updated. Okay, we're moving in. We've got the lubricant going out. We've got sulfuric acid going out. In fact, while we're up to these kind of shenanigans, we may as well update this kind of stuff. So the bottom one here, that needs to be sulfuric acid. So let's update this. And we'll streamline this later. I just want to reconnect things so things are operational. There we go. And then we had one going up to the blue. That would be number 3 on the right. This guy right here. Okay, I'm not close enough. I get it. Okay, that needs to go over there. Like so. Okay, now we should be making blues. And you know what? I'm just going to wait a little bit. I think we did enough. I'm going to be updating this stuff next episode. Anyway, we're going to be getting rid of these old designs and updating them with new, fresh, final designs. But our oil processing should be done. Our mining productivity 17 that we started at the beginning of the recording for the episode, it's almost done. Let's just make sure all the stuff is routing properly. Yeah, let's start from the beginning. Okay, so now we're officially outside of our factory. This is the surface world of this alien planet. We've got 2 lines of oil, 2 lines of water. They're coming in right here. They're going to 1 and 3 and 2 and 4 on that. 1 and 3 and 2 and 4 are going to 1 and 4 and 1 and 4 on this particular factory building. Yeah, this building, they're going from 1 and 4 and 1 and 4 to 2 and 3 and 2 and 4. Does that make sense? Are you ready for the quiz? There's going to be a quiz. Okay, but this is all backed up because we're not everything is connected. I just want to make sure that everything went where it needs to go. This is water coming up from our high throughput pump line. And that needs to connect to all the different things. As long as we're like producing this stuff at the end, I think that's basically evidence enough. We're producing sulfuric acid, we're producing plastic. We've got lubricant outputting. And I think that's basically everything. And I will continue. I'll do a double, triple, quadruple check on everything. Let's duck into, if I can even maneuver all these pipes, into our recursion for our solid fuel and our rocket fuel right there. So right here, let's make sure this is sped up properly. This is for our solid fuel, or our light fuel rather, light oil. And that gets split to go to all these guys, making solid fuel. Solid fuel heads over here, gets split, and heads to all of these rocket fuel guys, which are heading off in this direction. Off in that direction. So that is number 4 on... okay, that's the one thing we're not doing. That needs to be going out there. And that's going to be replacing our solid fuel line, which is right here. And I might just reconfigure the order that things are coming in at, since we're basically going to be getting rid of all of these solid fuel producers now that we have recursioned it inside of our oil processing facility. So all these guys are going bye-bye, which gives us room for this other stuff. Anyway, that's it. That's it. My brain is fried. My brain is cooked. We've got a little bit left to do, and we're getting close to being fully designed on this 3,000 science per minute. No, that's not what this base is. This base is 3 minutes per 1,000 science, not 3,000 science per minute. That would be a lot harder. But we're getting close to being done. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and we will see you in the next one. See you later. Bye-bye.